Welcome once again to this class. Today's topic is standard form. Let's introduce using this. A number is said to be in standard form if written in the form a times 10 to power n, where 1 is less than or equal to a and a is less than 10. This simply means a is any number from 1 to 9, while any is either a positive or negative integer, which means either positive or negative number can be used to replace this n. Now let's use this to give example. I made this table. I want to use it to help us learn how to express numbers in standard form. We are given number 1 this, number 2, and so on. As they are here, they are not standard form. Let's now convert them to standard form. In converting this number to standard form, one thing you need to know, if you count toward the right, the value you are going to put as the power of 10 will be positive. If you count toward the left, maybe you are ending it to the decimal point given, the value you are going to write as the power of the 10 will be negative value. Let's use this to explain. We have 97,530. To convert this to standard form, remember we said a first times 10 to power n, then which means we are going to express it in this form: 9.753 times 10 raised to power. What am I going to put here? That is what you need to know is important in standard form. How you are going to get it is after that 9, count how many numbers are there that completed the number. After the 9, where you put the point, if you count, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 numbers. Somebody can quickly count it this way. From that place, you put the dot. You count 1, 2, 3, and 4. You put your 4 here. This becomes 9.753 times 10 to the power 4. Quickly, you come to this side. You are going to begin it from this 6. You write 6.58 times 10. What is going to be the power of 10? You will get it this way. From that place, you put the dot. That's where you will begin to count. You move toward the left, which is 1. This is where it meets the point. Remember, it was on the left hand side. It's going to be negative 1. This becomes 6.58 times 10 to the power minus 1. Okay, you quickly do the same here. This is 34.694. To convert this to standard form, you will begin with the first number there, 3 point. The other ones will now follow. You are not going to repeat this point. More like you brought the point in between 3 and 4. So what you are now going to do is times 10. What will be the power of this 10? That's what you will now count. You brought the decimal in between this 3 and 4. So begin from there. Count toward the original decimal, which is from here you move 1. You have 1 here. For this number 4, you are going to begin from 7.83 times 10 to the power what? You go and count. The decimal was brought in between 7 and 10. Begin there to count toward the original decimal, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is minus 4 because it was toward the left. Let's now learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide numbers in standard form. Addition in standard form. The question is, add the following numbers in standard form. Number 1, we are given 604 million plus 36.3 million. To solve this, you need to first of all convert them to standard form. In standard form, this first value will be 6.04 times 10 to the power 8. The plus will come. This one will now be 2.6 times 10 to the power 7. There is one thing about adding in standard form. You can only add numbers in standard form if the powers of these 10 are the same. But this one has 8, this one has 7. You quickly need to make them to be the same. What are you going to do? Look for a way and make the powers to be the same. You can't easily do it here. If you want to make this 8 to become 7, it will make you have 60 points in order to make it 7. But if you want to make this one to become 8, it's easy. Only thing will be that it will now begin with 0 points. More like deviating a bit from what we said A is. But you need it in solving standard form. What do I mean? Write this one again. 6.04 times 10 to the power 8 plus this one. More like you are putting 0 here now. You begin from that 0, put your point and count it. If you count it now, you are going to have it to be 8. This is what I mean. It's now going to be 0.263 times 10 to the power 8. As you can see, this 10 now to the power 8 is same now with 10 to the power 8. Okay, to solve this now, bring these two values into one parenthesis and take one of these 10 to the power 8. This is what I mean. In one parenthesis, I'm going to have these two together now. Then 110 will come to the power 8. This gives us 6.303 times that 10 to the power 8. This becomes the answer. If you like, use your calculator to check. After adding this number to this number, you turn them to standard form. Let's quickly go to this number 2. Number 2, let's quickly turn them to standard form. We have 6.04 times 10 to the power minus 3 in standard form for this one, then plus 4.63 times 10 to the power minus 2. This is what the standard form of these two will give. Okay, how are you going to solve this? Remember, they are not of the same power, so it's difficult to add them. What you're going to do, look for a way to make this 10 and this 10 bear the same power. What are you going to do? You can easily manipulate this one to give it 10 to the power minus 2. How are you going to do it? Instead of beginning from this 6 points, you can begin from here, 0.6. This is what I mean, 0.604 times 10 to the power. Remember, you now started here, you count 1, 2, which is the same minus 2 as this. You write it minus 2, then bring down the plus. This is 4.63 times 10 to the power minus 2. The same way we did the first one, bring these two into one parenthesis, then one of the 10 to the power 2 will now come. If you add this to this, you are going to have 5.234 times this 10 to the power minus 2. This becomes the answer for this. Let's quickly go into subtraction in standard form. Subtraction in standard form. The question is, solve the following in standard form. First one, we have this and this already. They've given it to us in standard form. How are you going to do it? The same thing about the 10 to 8 power is applicable to this one, the way we did it in the addition. Look for a way and make the power of 10 of this one and this one to be the same thing. How are you going to do it? Okay, let's see something here. If you want to make this one to become to the power of 4, it will make you going all the way to this 2, as in writing 932 times 10, which is not standard form because it must be one value point, the other ones. But you can easily make this one to come to be in power of 6, as in you can go back before this 2 to make this come to power 6. Assume you have like 2 zeros before this 2. Let's write down this one, 9.32 times 10 to the power 6. Assume you have like 2 zeros before this 2, which is 0.02456 times 10 to the power 6 now, because you assumed you have like double zeros before this 2, which means you began from the first 0, then counted this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This number is something like this, 24560. That is why this 4 came. They made it standard form by counting this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, to give this. How we came to this 10 to the power 6 is more like now we added double 0 before the 2 to make us begin from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Having made 2 of them 10 to the power 6, 10 to the power 6, bring these numbers into one parenthesis, then pick one of the 10 to the power 6. If you subtract this from this, you are going to have 9.29544 times 10 to the power 6. This is the answer in standard form. Number 2, we are to subtract this from this, and to achieve it, you need to make the power of the 10 to become the same. And how are we going to do it? It's hard to achieve it using this one, because if you want to achieve it by making this minus 2 to come down to minus 3, it will make you have 46.3. But you can easily make this one to come up to minus 2 by beginning from 0.6 before this one. We know this number is 0.00604 that was converted to this standard form. They began from here to count 1, 2, 3. Now, if you want to bring it down to minus 2, you can as well begin from here to count 1, 2. Even though it seems like it goes against what we said that A is, because it will begin from 0.6. Still use it to tackle this standard form for you to get the right answer. This is now what I mean. Let's write this one down first. 4.63 times 10 to the power minus 2 minus this one now, 0.604 times 10 to the power minus 2. The power of this 10 is now the same thing with the power of this 10. Bring these values into one parenthesis, then write 1 of the 10 to power minus 2. If this is subtracted from this, you are going to have 4.026 times 10 to power minus 2. This becomes your answer. Let's quickly go into multiplication and division in standard form. Multiplication in standard form. The question is, solve the following in standard form. If you followed us in the indices we did in the last class, you can be able to solve this one. It's easier than that of addition and subtraction. You're having 1.6 times 10 to the power 9 and you're having 2.5 times 10 to the power minus 6. To solve this, bring these values into one parenthesis, then the 10 to the power something into another parenthesis. This is what I mean. The first parenthesis, bring the values 1.6 times 2.5, then times another parenthesis 10 to the power 9 times 10 to the power minus 6. As you can see, this one is now multiplication law in indices. Quickly multiply this part. If you multiply it, you are having 4, then times will come down. This is indices multiplication law. Pick 110, add their powers, which is 9 plus minus 6. Okay, this is 4 times 10, 9 minus plus is minus 6, which gives us 4 times 10 to the power 3. Now let's go into the second one. Let's first convert it to standard form, which is 2.4 times 10 to the power minus 3 times 1.5 times 10 to the power minus 4. That is what they will give in standard form. Okay, the same way we did this number 1, bring these values into one parenthesis, 5, then bring the 10 to the power something into another parenthesis, this minus 4, multiply these two and it will give you 3.6 times pick 1, 10, then add the powers, minus 4, because it's minus 4 here. This one will now give us times 10 to the power. This is minus 3 minus 4 will give us minus 7. This becomes the answer. Let's now go into division in standard form. Okay, division in standard form. The question is, evaluate the following in standard form. Let's quickly convert this to standard form. Converting it, we have 2.4 times 10 to the power 4 divided by 5 times 10 to the power 2. Okay, it's just the same thing. If you like, you can write it this way, times 10 to the power 4 divided by 5 times 10 to the power 2, which gives us 2.4 divided by 5 will give us 0.48 times pick 110, subtract their powers, minus 2. This gives us 0.48 times 10 to the power 2. Okay, this is 0.48. If you like, you can make it to be something like this, 4.8 times 10 to the power minus 1, because you went back this way and already we have 10 to the power 2. This becomes 4.8 times 10 to the power minus 1 plus 2, which gives us 4.8 times 10 to the power 1. Now let's quickly conclude with this number 2. It's given to us in standard form. You can write it this way, times 10 to the power minus 2 divided by 1.2 times 10 to the power minus 3. This gives us 2.4 divided by 1.2 will give us 2 times 10 to the power minus 2 minus 3, which is equal to 2 times 10 to the power minus 2 plus 3, which is 2 times 10 to the power 1. This becomes your answer. Thank you for being part of this class again. Hope the class is adding to your knowledge. Please join me in the next class as we go into logarithm of numbers greater than 1. Have a nice day. Bye bye.